We have been married for 5 years, but we have always been playing our own games. She is in love with her male secretary, and I flirt with young internet celebrities and models. Until the day of my birthday party, when her male assistant rushed into the private room and punched me. I wanted to fight back, but Lu Ruyan stopped me. He just cares about me too much. Seeing you getting involved with all kinds of women every day, he just stood up for me. Can you stop being so petty? But not long after, I saw Lu Ruyan and the male assistant kissing unresolutely in the next box. After returning home, I agreed to marry Xiao Qingmei, who had been courting me for 10 years, and turned to Lu Ruyan and proposed a divorce. But she had reddened eyes and yelled at me, grabbing my collar. Lin Yang, who allowed you to be serious? 1. I happened to see Lu Ruyan kissing unresolutely with her male assistant when I passed by her box. I sneered and immediately kicked open the door and walked in. Before Lu Ruyan could react, I punched the man in the face. Seeing this, she was furious and pushed me away without regard for her image, shouting angrily. Lin Yang, are you fucking sick? Didn't you say that we would each play our own way? I sneered and slowly wiped the bloodstains off my hands. Play is fine, but if you ride rushot over me, you should bear the consequences. Xiao Zhe's face was swollen, and he hid behind Lu Ruyan without saying a word, but the anger in his eyes could no longer be suppressed. Lin Yang, you've gone too far. Lu Ruyan's face was cold, and she stared at me fiercely. Hearing this, I subconsciously laughed out loud. Today was supposed to be my birthday, and my wife's lover came uninvited and gave me a bruise in full view of everyone. After all is said and done, who has really gone too far? So what if you got hit? What, are you feeling sorry for yourself? Lu Ruyan saw that I was being stubborn and had no intention of backing down. Lin Yang, apologize to Xiao Zhe right now. I nodded, but a teasing smile played at the corner of my mouth. Okay. I casually picked up the ashtray on the table and smashed it hard at Xiao Zhe, who was hiding behind her. He let out a scream of pain, and the next second he started cursing. Are you fucking crazy? Still smiling, I threw the ashtray aside. That punch was my way of repaying you, and now I apologize for throwing the ashtray at you. Without a care in the world, I ignored Lu Ruyan's face and turned to leave the private room. The woman behind me yelled like crazy. And the waiters and customers passing by cast strange glances at them. Lin Yang. Come back here. I'll count to 3. If you don't roll back here and apologize to Xiao Zhe, I'll divorce you. I put on my headphones as if nothing had happened, and walked away without looking back. Divorce? I'd be happy to oblige. 2. That night, I found a lawyer and drew up the divorce papers. Lu Ruyan didn't return home until 2 in the morning. Xiao Zhe skillfully opened the combination lock on my door. Seeing me lying on the sofa, he glared at me unkindly. Lu Ruyan had drunk a lot and was hanging all over Xiao Zhe. In the past, I would have hurriedly prepared slippers for Lu Ruyan and then turned to the kitchen to cook her a bowl of hangover soup. But at the moment, I crossed my legs and turned up the TV volume. Lin Yang, are you blind? You're still helping Ruyan change her shoes? I couldn't help but laugh. What are you, my woman, telling me what to do? Lu Ruyan's head cleared up halfway when she heard this. Lin Yang, what are you doing being crazy again? In fact, Xiao Zhe was not the first man Lu Ruyan had looked for outside the house. But he was the one who stayed with her the longest. She was naturally affectionate and never spent too much energy on one person. 5 years ago, I also naively thought that I would be the exception. Unexpectedly, not long after the marriage, she started staying out all night again. In the past, no matter what, she would never bring a man home. But Xiao Zhe was clearly different from others in her heart. I could see that Lu Ruyan was probably really moved. I shook my head and glanced at Xiao Zhe. Then I spoke slowly. Lu Ruyan, as you wish, let's get a divorce. Upon hearing this, she snorted and said with full disdain. Lin Yang, don't even think about threatening me with a divorce. Didn't we agree not to interfere with each other? Seeing that I didn't say a word, she sighed, let go of her hands that were clasped with Xiao Zhe's, and slowly walked over to me. Fine, I won't hold what happened today against you. Can I forgive you for Xiao Zhe? Looking at her serious expression, I almost laughed out of anger. Turning my head, I took out the prepared divorce agreement from the drawer. I'm serious. I've fallen in love with someone else. 3. Lu Ruyan's face froze, but deep down she was still convinced that I would not divorce her. She took the divorce agreement and briefly glanced through it. Regarding the distribution of property, I specifically asked the lawyer to write it very clearly. As for the company's shares, I will buy back your 20% at a price above the market price. As for the rest, I will consider it a gift from me to you. Having said this, Lu Ruyan finally believed it. She sat up straight, her emotions somewhat complicated in her eyes. Lin Yang, are you serious? I nodded. Of course I was serious. This wasn't the first time I had proposed divorce to Lu Ruyan. At that time, in order to win her back, I was willing to hurt myself to force her to change her mind. But in the end, I became a laughingstock. So this time, I was really tired. Lin Yang, what kind of trick are you playing this time? Lu Ruyan impatiently threw the divorce agreement on the table. Seeing this, Xiaozhe played peacemaker and came over to persuade me hypocritically. Brother Yang, don't argue with Sister Ruyan. Today's incident is all my fault, I apologize to you. I waved my hand impatiently to indicate that he should stay away from me. No need, and don't pretend to be nice here. Lin Yang, Xiaozhe has said that he won't hold it against you, so why are you still being aggressive? Even now, she still thinks I'm being stubborn. Yes. I admit that when she and Xiaozhe first got together, I was jealous as hell, and I had more than one big fight with Lu Ruyan over it. There were even a few times when I played it running away from home. Who would have thought that instead of breaking things off with Xiaozhe, she would take him home while I was gone? In the end, I was just beating my head against the wall. I didn't. I looked up and met Lu Ruyan's eyes, smiling sheepishly. The young lady is insecure, and she's been nagging me every day to marry her. If I don't agree, she'll cry, make a scene, and hang herself. I can't bear to do that. 4. Lu Ruyan's face stiffened, and a visible hint of anger appeared in her eyes. After a moment of silence, she spoke with clenched teeth. Lin Yang, I promise you, Xiaozhe will not interfere with your position. You don't need to be so petty, do you? I was already a little impatient when she said this. If you don't agree, I can give in on the property. After all, the young lady is pushing for it, and I'm a little anxious. Xiaozhe wanted to say something else, but Lu Ruyan interrupted the words on his lips. It seems that she finally believes that I am serious. A's, you go first. But... Sister Ruyan. Xiaozhe was a little disappointed. He wanted to say something to stop her, but Lu Ruyan interrupted him without mercy. Don't make me say it twice. Seeing that Lu Ruyan was unhappy, he sulkily picked up his briefcase and left without saying a word. After Xiaozhe had gone far away, she deliberately lowered her voice and spoke softly. Who is she? The girl who came to your doorstep last time? I nodded. I remembered that last time Xiaoqi insisted on walking me home, she ran into Lu Ruyan head-on. Although she saw Xiaoqi's displeasure, she didn't say anything in the end. After all, the phrase mutual non-interference came from her own mouth. Speaking of Xiaoqi, she is a devoted young lady. When she was little, she lived next door to my house and rode the same bus to and from school with me. On the day of the college entrance exam, she confessed to me for the first time. At that time, I just wanted to study hard and get into the university I liked. In order to let her not delay her studies, I had to make up an excuse. If you get into the same university as me, I'll promise you. Who knew that she had remembered this sentence until now? In her first year of university, she ran over to me happily with her admission notice. Can you promise me now? At that time, I still had no intention of falling in love, so I lied to her again. After we graduate from university, we'll be together. Later, before I graduated, I went abroad for further studies. There, I met Lu Ruyan. We confirmed our relationship soon after. I just didn't expect Xiaoqi to remember that sentence for 10 whole years. Half a month ago, she suddenly asked me, when are you going to keep the promise you made? I was at a loss for words and was about to make some excuse. But she embraced me. Lin Yang, I've been waiting for you for 10 years. Xiaoqi's eyes reddened, and tears fell uninhibited down her cheeks. That was when I realized. I had spent 5 years of my youth on Lu Ruyan. But I had completely forgotten that Xiaoqi had also silently accompanied me for 10 years. Now, she was already 28 years old. Youth passed in a flash, and how many more decades were left in a lifetime? I don't know how long it had been. I only remember the girl's tears soaking my shirt. The noisy environment drowned out Xia Qi's intermittent sobs. I raised my hand and rubbed her soft hair. I spoke slowly. Okay, I promise. 5. So you understand. I looked at Lu Ruyan and spoke very quietly. Xiao Zhe has done this to you more than once, you should understand. Last time she got drunk, it was also Xiao Zhe who took her home. At the door, they were all over each other, lingering for more than an hour. I listened through the door to the harsh sweet nothings. In the depths of their love, Xiao Zhe asked her, "Do you want to divorce Lin Yan? Ru Yan, you don't love him anyway, so why don't you just divorce him and we can be together openly?" Lu Ruyan snuggled into his arms and cooed. "Yes, I've had enough of him anyway. He acts like a lunatic all day long, but I'm still happy to be with you." Thinking about this, I couldn't help but urge her. "Lu Ruyan, have you thought it over?" She hung her head, her eyebrows and eyes pressed very low. After a while, she slowly let out a breath. "Lin Yang, who allowed you to be serious?" I nodded. "Xia Qi is very special." These were the words Lu Ruyan once said to me. "Lin Yang, Xiao Zhe is different from them, he is very special." Now, I'm returning the compliment to her. You're getting on in years, and you're still trying to seduce a younger woman. Lin Yang, aren't you afraid that people will laugh at you if this gets out? Besides, what will you get from being with her? She's just a young girl, what can she give you? I smiled, lit a cigarette, and replied slowly. Yes, she has nothing, but I have. So, Lu Ruyan, let's get a divorce. I took off the wedding ring on my finger, which she had given to me when we got married. But the one that belonged to her. From beginning to end, she had never worn it once. Seeing this, Lu Ruyan completely lost control. She pounced on me like a madwoman and grabbed my collar. She lowered her head and kissed me. I didn't respond, nor did I push her away. I just sat still in silence. When she had had enough of her madness, she slowly stopped moving and leaned over me, panting heavily. I won't allow it, Lin Yang, I won't allow you to divorce me. 6. I pushed her away. My tone was so flat that I couldn't tell whether she was angry or not. Had enough? Lu Ruyan's eyes were slightly red, but she still held onto the corner of my shirt. Lin Yang, you'll give in to anything for her, won't you? I nodded. Yes. What about the company? What about the company's shares? If you want a divorce, fine, give me half of your shares. Without even thinking, I agreed. Fine. Although I founded the company myself, now, if I can use it as a bargaining chip to draw a line with Lu Ruyan, then I don't want it. The rest of the money is enough for me to make a comeback. Lu Ruyan's emotions have always been unstable, and her temper is extremely fierce. Hearing that I agreed to her conditions without hesitation, her pent-up anger finally exploded. She picked up the divorce papers from the table and tore them into pieces in front of me. The pieces of paper were blown into the air, blurring my vision. She stood still and laughed loudly. Lin Yang, listen carefully. You will never get a divorce from me in this lifetime. She slammed the door in her slippers, and it started raining outside. The living room window was washed bright and clear by the rain. I lay on the sofa, staring blankly at the mess on the floor. My phone's alert tone sounded suddenly. It was a message from Xia Qi. Do you remember? I froze for a moment. What? Do you remember what you promised me? My fingers hovered in midair. For a moment, I didn't know how to explain to her. I don't know when it happened. Between Lu Ruyan and I, things became like this. It was clear that she loved me so much when we were abroad. At the time, I didn't have much money, and my lifelong dream was to start a company through my own efforts. After learning about this, Lu Ruyan found a part-time job in the local area. I was busy studying, and whenever she had time, she went to the store to work part-time. During this period, she had several complaints from customers due to the language barrier. She has always been a strong-willed person, but even then, when she was scolded by the boss and her eyes were red with tears, she had to grit her teeth and continue. I asked her if she was tired. She said that as long as it was for me, she would never feel tired. Later, I got what I wanted and finally opened a company of my own. It was also on that day that Lu Ruyan and I got engaged. She was moved to tears and said that she had been waiting a long time for this day. I thought that we had been through the storms. There would be no more difficult things in the world that would separate us. In the end, I came to understand. Love is just the easiest thing to spoil. The second year after our marriage. That was the first time she didn't come home at night. I sat in the living room and smoked an entire pack of cigarettes. I waited for her all night. It wasn't until the next morning that she slowly opened the door. I asked her where she had been and why she hadn't answered her phone or returned my messages. She said I didn't even have the basic trust in her. She had just gone to her best friend's house, had a few drinks, and fell asleep. Later, things started to spiral out of control. As she drank more and more frequently, I began to realize that something was wrong with our relationship. Lu Ruyan began to stay out all night endlessly. No matter how I argued, she would get impatient and give me any excuse she could think of. Gradually, she stopped even making excuses. Until she met Xiao Zhe. He was originally her assistant, a fair-skinned guy who was quite a bit younger than Lu Ruyan. Under the influence of novelty, she began to escalate. She even brought Xiao Zhe back when I wasn't home. I knew that in the face of a better, younger option, she would of course weigh the pros and cons. So when she said that to Lu Ruyan, I realized that our relationship had come to an end. Lin Yang, why don't we try an open marriage? I'll do my thing, you do yours. We won't interfere with each other. What do you say? The last trace of love completely dissipated with these words from Lu Ruyan. After a long while, I cleared my bitter throat. I spoke slowly. Okay. 7. Later, I didn't expect to still meet Xiaoqi. After all that time had passed, I thought she would have long since moved on with her life. At that time, I was pouting with Lu Ruyan. I spent every day in the bar, drowning my sorrows in alcohol. I remember drinking a lot of wine at the time, and coincidentally seeing Xiao Zhe's post on WeChat moments. In our home. In our bed. He was topless, and the floor-to-ceiling windows reflected Lu Ruyan, who was only wearing a bathrobe. I got up in a daze, ready to go to the bathroom to wash my face and clear my head. Unexpectedly, I ran head-on into Xiaoqi, who had just come out of the bathroom. She had a pale face and red, puffy eyes. The man following her was shouting obscenities. Stupid bitch, you're a whore and you're still acting high and mighty. Just sleep with me for one night, and I'll sign the contract in the morning. Seeing this, I took Xiaoqi under my protection. I looked more closely and realized that it was the department head of our company. When he saw me, he sobered up a lot. Mr. Lin, why are you here? I glared at him and asked when his company needed to sleep with someone to discuss cooperation. What happened next? I can't remember very well. I only remember that night's wind was cool and piercing. Xiaoqi took off her scarf and tied it around my neck on tiptoe. She was just like that year. She hadn't changed at all. As our eyes met, Xiaoqi looked at me and smiled. Lin Yang, long time no see. I thought back. It had indeed been a long time. It seems like 7 years. 8. After that night, the chat box, which had been dusty for many years, once again had red dots. Xiaoqi and Lu Ruyan were two people with completely opposite personalities. She was pure and kind, gentle in character, and never yelled like Lu Ruyan. Her appearance, for me at that time, was like a ray of light. She asked me, I heard you got married? I replied, yes. After sending the message, I waited a long time for Xiaoqi's reply. It wasn't until a week later. That day she had drunk a little wine and took advantage of the alcohol to ask me to go out and sit. When I arrived, she was sitting by the Trans River Bridge, reeking of alcohol. I was afraid that she was going to do something stupid. But she asked me with red eyes, Lin Yang, do you remember this place? I looked around and shook my head. No. But as soon as I said this, Xiaoqi let out a whoosh sound and burst into tears. Lin Yang, you have no heart. You're a liar, a complete liar. I was full of confusion, probably because so many years had passed. I really couldn't remember. This is the place where we last met 7 years ago. You lied to me. You've been lying to me from the beginning. You never wanted to be with me, did you? What about wanting to study, getting into the same school, and graduating together? Those were all excuses you made up. Yes. Back then, I really didn't plan on falling in love. But looking into Xiaoqi's eyes, I could see the hope welling up inside. My heart softened. Ever since I was little, she had always been a fragile little girl in my eyes. Whenever something went wrong, she would cry alone in secret. Then, after she had digested her bad mood, she would put on a bright and cheerful face and smile, saying, "I'm not angry anymore." So, all along, I just didn't want her to be sad. I'm sorry. I owed her an apology. Lin Yang, are you happy now? She asked me with puffy eyes and a serious face. It seemed that she really wasn't happy at all. I shook my head. The next second, she put on that same look of a sunny day after the rain. I'm not angry anymore. On the way back, we talked about a lot of things that had happened since we last saw each other. Before we left, Xiaoqi held the hem of my shirt. She whispered, "I don't want you to be unhappy. Why don't you divorce her?" I took my hand out of my pocket, gently stroked the top of her head, and laughed. Okay. 9. The day of the company dinner. Lu Ruyan also came as a shareholder. Of course, with her was her assistant Xiao Zhe. In the crowd, Xiao Zhe saw me at a glance. With a smile on his face, he slowly walked up to me with the air of a victor. "Brother Yang, why are you here alone? Do you want me to keep you company?" I snorted and said without sparing him any face. "The staff sit at that table, there's no place for you here." Hearing this, Xiao Zhe's face instantly turned black. He stopped pretending and said with full sarcasm, "An old man of your age, and Ruoyan doesn't want you anymore, and you're still pretending to be noble." I almost laughed at his words. Lu Ruoyan doesn't want me? Isn't it that she didn't agree to the divorce and tore up the agreement? Instead, I become the one who's being obsessive. Whether you want me or not is fine with me, I just know that even if we get divorced, you won't get a chance. Also, please think carefully, I own this company, and you, Ruoyan, only own 20% of the shares. If you say another word that I don't like, I guarantee you'll lose your job tomorrow. As soon as I finished speaking, I saw Lu Ruyan walking over. Xiao Zhe saw this and quickly put on an expression of being bullied. "Sister Ruyan, I saw Brother Yang sitting here alone, so I came over to say hello, but for some reason, he suddenly said he was going to fire me. It's possible that you and Brother Yang have been having a disagreement recently, and he's holding a grudge." Upon hearing this, Lu Ruyan became furious. "Lin Yang, you really disgrace men." Her voice was loud, instantly attracting the attention of everyone present. "Xiao Zhe is also well-intentioned, so who are you putting on a long face for?" I sneered, sarcastically retorting. "A grown man, learning the ways of the green tea. What era is this, still playing these despicable tricks?" The people present were basically colleagues who had started from scratch with me. Lu Ruyan and Xiao Zhe usually behave like this at the company. They naturally know it very well. Everyone cast contemptuous glances at Xiao Zhe, and even Lu Ruyan felt a little embarrassed when she saw this. "Xiao Zhe, go to the Human Resources Department tomorrow to resign." In front of Lu Ruyan, I didn't spare her face at all. "Lin Yang, you're making too much of a mountain out of a molehill, aren't you? Even if Xiao Zhe unintentionally offended you, you shouldn't fire him, should you?" I laughed after a moment of silence. "Fine, I'll leave the choice up to you. Lu Ruyan, as long as you fire him, I won't divorce you, okay?" Although my last love for her had long since dissipated, at the moment, I still asked her with a hint of expectation. I was unwilling. I was unwilling to be outshined by Xiao Zhe. The scene fell into silence, and after a long while, Lu Ruyan slowly spoke. "I'm sorry, Lin Yang. I can't do it." 10. At this moment, everyone's gaze fell on me. I turned my head and laughed at myself. I knew the answer long ago. What was I expecting? I got up and passed by Xiao Zhe. He gave me a mocking smile. I walked out of the banquet hall and saw Xiaoqi waiting for me at the door from afar. She saw my dark face and asked softly, "What's wrong? Are you unhappy?" I shook my head. "Why are you here?" She handed me the hot milk tea in her hand. "I'm afraid you're being wronged. Your wife is here today, right?" I nodded. "Lin Yang." I looked up. "Don't be upset. It's her who doesn't know how to cherish you." Xiaoqi's eyes were filled with comfort, reluctance, heartache, and 10 years of love. 11. When I got home, Lu Ruyan had already returned. She was sitting on the sofa, her face a little complicated. "Why are you just back?" I didn't explain. Something happened? She looked up and met my eyes. I was wrong about what happened today. Just as I said this, my phone rang, at an inopportune moment. I looked down and saw that Xia Qi was calling. I pressed the answer button. Lin Yang, have you arrived home yet? Your mood hasn't improved, has it? I changed my tone from the previous cold one and spoke softly. I'm home, I'm very happy, you get some rest early. When I turned back after the phone call, Lu Ruyan was glaring at me with a dark face. Where have you been? I ignored her and walked straight towards the bedroom. Lu Ruyan suddenly got up, rushed to my side in 2 or 3 steps, and grabbed my arm. You went out with her? Lin Yang, fucking speak. I impatiently shook her off. You slept in the same bed as Xiao Zhe, what's wrong with me going out with Xia Qi? The next second, she grabbed my collar and asked with red eyes. Did you sleep with her? I raised the corner of my mouth and asked back teasingly. What do you think? Lin Yang. Say it. Did you sleep with her? Looking at Lu Ruyan's current scoundrel-like appearance, I suddenly felt so uninspired. I flung her off and slapped the area she had touched with disgust. Lu Ruyan, do you think everyone is as cheap as you? You sleep with any guy you see, right? After getting my affirmative reply, her emotions gradually stabilized. After a long silence, Lu Ruyan asked in a conciliatory manner. I'll fire Xiao Zhe, and you'll break up with her. Okay? I nodded, thinking for a while thoughtfully. Then I replied with a smile. No, I can't. 12. Early the next morning. Lu Ruyan, for the first time ever, got up early to cook for me. You have to understand that before, she would rather go hungry than touch a single bite of what I cooked. Wake up, come eat. Lu Ruyan pulled out a chair for me. Then she sat down next to me. Lin Yang, I fired Xiao Zhe. I didn't say anything. I won't mess around with other people anymore. I sneered. It doesn't matter, it's the last time anyway. My casual remark made Lu Ruyan react strongly. What do you mean it doesn't matter? She slammed her chopsticks down on the table and asked loudly. What else could it be? Of course it's a divorce. I tilted my head, too lazy to look at her. So you don't love me anymore? I felt a little amused. It would be rude of me to say I love you again, sis. You don't love me anymore? How could you not love me? She forced me to turn towards her, determined to get an explanation. Love can be worn down even after countless assaults. Lu Ruyan, you might as well ask yourself, do you love me? Of course I do. She allowed herself to cheat on her husband, to stay out all night for a week in a row, and to bring other men home to spend the night. Why didn't she ever think that what she was doing would also wipe out the love between us? You keep saying you love me, but everything you do hurts me. The vows we had promised at the wedding felt like dust on the road, washed away by the rain. Now I couldn't say a word in rebuttal when I looked at her. I didn't feel the slightest joy of victory in my heart. In a failed relationship, both sides lose. 13. I packed my bags and moved out of the house. Xia Qi bought 2 apartments, and currently has 1 left vacant. I didn't want to trouble her. But she wouldn't give up, and I finally gave in and moved in next door. After that day, I never saw Lu Ruyan again. She didn't want any of the company's shares, and returned them all. But that's fine. Now I don't want anything to do with her. Life is actually pretty good, just like it is now. Xia Qi is in the kitchen, wearing an apron and cooking. From time to time, she would peek out to see if I was impatient. In fact, it was easy to fall in love with Xia Qi. She was meticulous, kind, gentle, and most importantly, she cooked well. I occasionally regret why I didn't notice before. I was blind and spent 5 years with Lu Ruyan. In the evening, I contacted the lawyer again. Lu Ruyan's phone was unreachable. I wanted to go through legal proceedings directly. The lawyer redrafted the divorce agreement for me. A lawyer's letter was sent to the original address. Xiao Zhe disappeared after being fired. Perhaps he went to another city with Lu Ruyan. After all, they were finally free to be together openly. 14. 1 week later. Lu Ruyan suddenly started harassing me again every now and then. Sometimes he would wait for me downstairs at work. Sometimes he would send me expensive gifts to beg for forgiveness. I threw all that junk into the trash. Until I met the drunk Liu Ruyan at the entrance to the community. She looked a bit decadent, and it could even be said that her mental state was problematic. Her originally delicate and petite face had long since turned sallow. Under the streetlight, she saw me at a glance. When I got closer, Liu Ruyan trembled and smiled bitterly. Lin Yang, I've already broken up with Xiaozhe for good. Will you forgive me? I know it was all my fault before, and I will never enter into a free marriage with you again. Let's start again. Okay? I shook my head, my will firm. No way. Liu Ruyan, when I loved you most, you stayed out all night, you were promiscuous, you brought men home. In our marital home, in our marital bed XX. While I was waiting for you to come back, you told me you wanted to try a free marriage with me. Now I'm tired, fed up, and not in love anymore, and you're begging me to forgive you? Liu Ruyan, anyone who betrays their true feelings must swallow 10,000 silver needles. The woman I once loved the most. I don't know when it started, but she became the source of my emotional breakdown. The word I'm sorry is so fake and so late. Perhaps the Lin Yang of the past would still choose to forgive. But now, I have survived countless nights of self-healing, and I have finally found relief. No matter what you say, I will never turn back. When I got home, I stood by the window and looked down. Liu Ruyan crouched under the street lamp for a long time, until the security guard on patrol spoke to her and drove her away. 15. Another half-month passed. I finally received the divorce agreement signed by Liu Ruyan. As soon as I got home, I found Xia Qi had made a table of dishes and was looking at me with a smile on her face. Why are you? Congratulations, Mr. Lin, on your new life. I laughed at her expression. Xia Qi, stop it. How's it going? Is the divorce going well? She asked with anticipation in her eyes. Well, it's going quite well. We can get the certificate as soon as the cooling-off period is over. 16. During this period, Xia Qi and I went to Mo together. It was the place she had wanted to go the most during her university days. She said that 10 years ago, she would always look forward to the future, to the day when she could be with me. Now, we wear headphones, sit by the window. Looking out at the frosted car windows, through the birch forest, past the snowfield. We have arrived in the homeland of snow. The sky is full of stars, the snow is pure white, this is Mo. The tribe where the aurora appears. After dinner, we sit side by side under the starry sky. The perennial snow that never melts has dyed the winding wooden fence a bone-chilling white. Xia Qi looked up at the stars and suddenly spoke. Lin Yang, you're not going to lie to me again, are you? She made me laugh. No. Here, we ate blueberry jam from the bakery together. We saw the wall of post-its in that span time and space. We tasted the owner's specialty, pickled vegetables and vermicelli. After playing for half a month, we finally arrived at the day when we would get our divorce certificate with Liu Ruyan. The wind swept across my face, bringing a cool breeze. I sat by the window and took the last sip of wine in the bottle. The night was warm, and the sky was full of stars. It looked like a thin, flowing sand made Milky Way, slanting across the green sky. I closed my eyes, and the wind chimes by the window rustled in the wind. Xia Qi walked up to me without me noticing. What are you thinking about? I took her hand. About us. Us? I let out a breath and nodded. Do you think we'll be happy forever? Xia Qi froze for a moment before she reacted. You promise? I smiled and took her in my arms. I'm sorry for making you wait for 10 years. With tears in her eyes, she hugged me and let out a whoosh sound as she burst into tears. Lin Yang. I've been waiting a long time to hear you say that.